Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video, I'm bringing back an absolute classic composition in Mechabellum, which is going to be Phoenix Vulcan. This is a comp that has been popular for a really long time. It's not as popular anymore now as arc lights are really prevalent, but it does resurface every now and again when the arc lights get nerfed or are a little bit less popular. So let's see how we play it. My opponent is none other than Illuminati, one of 301's strongest players and also longest time players. Illuminati here starts with Giant Spec with Sabertooth Crawler, and I have Supply Spec with the Sledges and the Arc Lights. This is on the new patch with the reduced hit points on these packs, I believe. Although Crawler Saber did not get touched, I believe. But my pack did, so I'm a little bit less healthy than I would have been. This matchup is not great at the start. I don't have any chaff, but I also kind of need DPS. So it's a bit of a tough one into the Sabers because it'll just take way too long to kill these 15k hit points a piece. But I'm willing to forfeit the first round here and go for something like Crawlers. Didn't really feel like not buying any chaff. And I was already kind of thinking maybe I can buy 2 Phoenixes here on round 2. And that would just be better early game DPS than something like 2 level 1 marksmen. So go for 2 Crawlers here. Pretty normal setup. My opponent buys 2 Arcs and decides to go for a long range setup as well. I was kind of expecting some aggro. Into aggro, obviously, I would have probably had to do a little bit of a different setup. But here, it's pretty chill. I will lose the first round. It's almost guaranteed. But hopefully I can chip away at some of these units and make sure I don't take too much damage. If you can kill 1 Saber, I'd be pretty happy. We can speed things up here as the Sledges and the Arc Lights are stuck on those big tanks. And I will manage to kill one of them. The other, though, can we take out this Arc Light before we get debuffed? We trade. So not too bad. We do go down to 4k on the dot. But I think that's okay for a bit of a rough early matchup here. Now, Missile Strike is available. And the Illuminati does pick it up. Advanced Shield Device here could have been an idea. Not necessarily to put a shield down this early, but can be nice in the long run in standard games. Having that more tanky shield can really be very useful against things like spells and just damage in general. But against the early Sabers, I didn't really feel like I would get much value out of it, so instead I decided to pick up the Missile Strike here as well, and just use it to get rid of a chaff back and deal some damage to the Saber and the Arc Light, because I can get quite a good amount of value out of this. Same thing for my opponent. Tries to hit the Sledges, the Arc, and the chaff. And I do take my time. My opponent goes for more chaff here. Triple Fang pack already. 2 Fangs in the front to the side to kind of funnel chaff into the Arc Light here. And also to maybe prevent early lock-ons to the Sabers. But because I'm supply, I can pick a card here and still buy 2 Phoenixes. And I wasn't really expecting my opponent to get much in the form of anti-air this round. And I might be able to get away with a win here. We do need to kill the Fangs, but I imagine the front 2 packs should die relatively fast. I do make sure that I space these in a way that they don't get hit by the Missile Strike, and so that doesn't happen. And let's see how this goes. I think we should be quite favored. Fang pack on the left already going down. Phoenixes shooting at the Saber there. Very nice. Arc Light cleaning up the first pack of Fangs on the right. Left side is already dealt with, so we should get a debuff. And with that, I am certain we'll be able to pick up a round. So good stuff. Phoenixes get a lot of experience here as well. At least getting about halfway to a level. And now we enter round number 3. And this is where the Vulcan shows up. And so that's why I think, okay, maybe I can just make this work, because Tarantula I don't really need. Same thing with Typhoon. Those don't really belong in long-range games, so it would just be for the cell. And Farseer is fine, but it also tends to fall off somewhat in long-range engagements at some point. And I think I should be in a decent spot to play the Phoenixes into that. So I decide, you know what? Since the game is offering us Vulcan, let's try that. Let's not invest further into the arcs and just, well, get a unit that won't mind something like Shielded Fang, which is something I was keeping in mind because my opponent did buy 3 Fangs last round. I take a little bit of time here. My opponent plays quite fast, goes for 2 Stormcallers to the sides, and yeah, another Fang pack there. Definitely, I think, does justify the transition into the Vulcan. Now, I will need to make some space here. The arc lights are redundant next to the Vulcan, so you will see me sell out of the arc on the left. And then I just decide to get more chaff. 2 more Fang packs behind the towers and a 3rd Phoenix pack. And I don't get another Vulcan here because I really wanted to be in front of the tower to get maximum efficiency. And I think the Arclight should do fine for now. Manages to dodge the Stormcaller shots there. Hopefully it can kill as many of the Fangs as possible. Left side looks real good. Saber will manage to get a shot off onto the Vulcan there, but hopefully we can do some damage. Phoenixes do manage to lock onto the Farseer, but then get one shot once the Farseer shoots it back at them. Left side does prevail, but I think our Vulcan will go down. It will. So just the Phoenix is left now, and the Farseer, will it be able to clean up? I'm not sure. We do get the debuff, but with only 1 Phoenix turning for the Farseer, oh, we do manage actually to get rid of it. That's lovely. And so even though we do get debuffed, the Fangs won't be enough to kill our Phoenixes, and we should take another win. That's really good because it means that I get a bunch of levels here on my Phoenixes. And in fact, it's one of the packs that I just added that leveled up. Here we get Amplify Core being offered. Nice item for the Vulcan, so that's why I pick it up. And my opponent goes for quick cooldown. I thought that was quite curious because he only has 1 Missile Strike. It does come back off cooldown, but there's no other spells as of now. But he could pick up something like Sticky Oil Bomb, and then it does justify picking spells going forward if they show up. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this. Not much I would have done about it anyway. The Phoenixes here will die. Opponent here could have gone for my Phoenixes on the left as well, because I wasn't really expecting this, but it's a bit of a gamble, obviously. These Phoenixes will go down to the missile, because I'm not an aerial spec, and I didn't take the defense enhancement just yet. Level 2 Phoenix needs the defense enhancement from tower to be able to survive a missile strike. And it's going to be more Stormcallers for now, and opponents also ranging their arc lights. But their DPS is kind of lacking, apart from these Stormcallers. Does get a 4th one, so might be enough. But if we can just get rid of this Farseer, which is their only anti-air, we should be in a decent spot. Yeah, Phoenix here will perish. Also, no need here to range my Vulcans or anything. If I want to range my Vulcans, I need to make sure that I also range my Phoenixes, because otherwise the Vulcans will have more range than the Phoenixes, and that will mean the Phoenixes will get in front and maybe get targeted by the Farseer or another anti-air unit. And so that's something you've got to keep in mind. Either range your Phoenixes first, or range both of them at the same time to prevent disaster from happening. Lucky for us, we get a good pull here, so we do not get debuffed, even if our right side did lose. And with the debuff, we're able to get rid of the Farseer once more. The Vulcan should be able to help out with a chaff, but will die to all of these storms. And so it's simply going to be another round where the Phoenixes clutch up and finish off these Stormcallers. And our opponent goes down to below 3k. Next round, Mustangs show up. And, well, I'm really happy with this. This is probably one of the best things that could have been offered, because my opponent is really reliant on missiles with his comp. We have Stormcallers, we have a Farseer as well. That's second on damage so far, and all of that can get intercepted. It just so happens that Mustangs were buffed some time ago, and their efficiency is really high on the missile interception. It's the best missile interceptor tech in the game, actually, but obviously it does take up their normal shots, so that's the downside. But with level 1s, I don't really need them for anything else, so happy to get another one there and click the tech. I also get range on the Phoenixes and the Vulcans, both at the same time. And we have a missile strike here to go onto the Stormcallers. And this is not really a play I was expecting. Opponent goes for triple worm there with armor on the front line. Trying to punch through my Vulcans, I imagine. And hoping to get to the tower fast. It's also pretty good against the Mustang. But the nice thing about Missile Interceptor is that it does make the units re-target. So if it's shooting at something and then missiles come its way, it will stop locking onto the units to shoot the missiles and then re-target the closest thing afterwards. But our damage seems to be quite good here, with the Phoenixes taking out a worm right away. And now they're also getting to take down the middle worm, and with only one left, this doesn't look too bad at all for us. I also did add another Phoenix on the right side, by the way, and the Vulcan is having a much better time now with the backup of the Phoenixes. Left side already crumbled for my opponent, right side in the process of crumbling. And that is a much more dominant round here on round 5, and a lot of damage going my opponent's way. Yeah, that'll set him down to 1300. Round number 6. We get the big red spell, the nuke being offered. Steel ball production line also available, picked up for Illuminati. Could have picked this up myself if I wanted to, but maybe should have, considering I am up against steel balls. Not against steel balls, against worms, but the steel balls can be really useful if they get produced, so maybe a little bit of a mistake, but I wanted to have as much money available here as possible. I wanted to play around the nuke, and shield my Phoenixes, and then I just pick up a laser sight because I was thinking, well, if the game does end up going longer, I might end up clicking charge shot to get rid of these worms a bit more efficiently. And yeah, having the laser sight there can definitely help make sure the Phoenixes don't have too little range, because obviously that tech does remove 25 range. I just decided to add some more chaff in the middle and also here behind the arc light, because the sandworms are quite far removed from their arc lights, so it's hard for him to clear the chaff. There's a bit of a anti-synergy there. They're just not linked up at all, and the worms will probably get stuck on the chaff before the arc lights can get there. Good oil usage though, trying to make sure that my Vulcans set on fire my own units. For now, we're stuck on the sandworm, but as soon as we retarget, yeah, there goes all my chaff and my Mustangs on the right side of the board. Left side, however, looking much better, and the Phoenixes here doing a pretty good job against the sandworms that have now been teched twice with Replicate as a second option. Left side here should win, but one worm's still alive and will manage to get the debuff, so the Farseer is now firing away. Will it be able to take out our Phoenixes? Doesn't quite look like it, as I managed to trade the tower as well. And things are looking good once again, as we take out the final worm and send our opponent down to 131. Almost game there, but we still have round 7 to go. And here a bunch of options are available. Advanced targeting system could be good if I want to click charge shot, just to make up again for that range loss. EMP, pretty decent, but I don't really need to pick it because I can't EMP the worms. They will burrow before it lands, and the backline units really aren't worth EMPing, I think. So instead it's maybe Mustang production line. I do have a tech on them with the missile interception, and it could be good chaff against my opponent's worms. That will end up being what I go for. Electromagnetic impact is the pick here for my opponent. And yeah, I pick up another giant item there. Left Vulcan has a level. I decide to take it. I also level up my Phoenixes where I can. And with 950 left, it might just be, yeah, more chaff here on the right side and the left side, trying to stall the worms no matter where they may go. I'm taking temp range. And here I will decide to pick up the charge shot as well, I believe. Opponent goes for a level 2 sandworm, but only has money for 1. And yeah, pretty happy here with the charge shot. It'll allow us to deal with all of his units, or his big units, much more easily. And keep in mind, my opponent still only has one ranged Farseer to deal with the Phoenixes, so really has to get in and get the debuff for this thing to be able to shine. Ends up going for the right tower instead. This worm on the left is not caught in the mobile beacon, so we'll end up going to the left side of the board while the rest goes to the right. EMP will shut off those techs, so no more shields, no more range, no more charge shot, but all the other Phoenixes are completely fine. And yeah, you can see how quickly they will get rid of those worms. Already 2 of the level 1s went down, the 3rd one underway, there it goes, and now it's just a level 2 worm left alive. Left side looking fantastic. Vulcan there making sure there's no chaff, and with the Phoenixes we should be able to clear the left side and perhaps get a debuff as well. Worm on the right went down, and yeah, with the Vulcan still alive, I think we should be completely fine. Immense amount of damage on the Farseer, almost getting 2-shot, and even though the Vulcan will go down, that's plenty of units left alive to close this out. Nice and early on round 7. This kind of shows how powerful this comp sometimes can be. My opponents did kind of, well, forget, I guess, to buy anti-air or opt to go for something different. Was hoping, I imagined, that the worms would do a bit more. But at level 1 into the level 2 Phoenixes, as you could see, we were fine basically, even on the round that it came out as a surprise. And then after that, we had plenty of techs available to be able to deal with this. The Vulcans did fantastic. Great chaff clear. I got some really good free unit packs as well. The Vulcan wasn't necessarily something I wanted, but it ended up being something that I picked and then built the rest of my comp around. And the Mustangs certainly were ideal to be able to deal with all these Stormcallers as well as the Farseer. And it results in a quick game. Do you like Vulcan Phoenix? Is it something that you've played before, or is it something that you've never seen? Let me know down below. If you want to see me play live, please check me out on Twitch and consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date with all my latest content. With that being said, take care guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.